Here are some important questions to consider when deciding on a ride to take this summer. Are you looking for an adventure in northern Utah? Are you unsure of where to start? But most importantly, are you in the mood for a milkshake? Well, then I recommend you tour the Raspberry Run, a loop that'll take you through some of the most scenic spots and most delicious treats the state has to offer.
Hi everybody. Northern Utah offers up a lot of opportunities to beat the heat during the summer months. With its high elevations and curvy mountainous paths, staying cool doesn't necessarily mean having to stay inside. Now, if you're looking for one and you have a sweet tooth like me, I'd recommend starting with something called the Bear Lake Loop, also known as the Raspberry Run. So I hope you follow along as I take you on this really epic ride.
Packed up all my camera gear that I could fit and got my leathers on, but I can already tell you that this particular ride was not off to the best start. You see, doing a project like this solo comes with some degree of risky practices. I literally just have to ride around the block this once for this shot, but this isn't me. This is a well-meaning citizen who believed they were watching out for my equipment.
Okay, that's on me. But stealing so something doesn't get stolen is a little flimsy. So maybe try to just leave stuff alone, okay?
I'll skip ahead and tell you that this person did return the equipment within minutes, and I was back on my adventure. As the wheels turned north, I decided to take Highway 89. This road runs basically parallel to the much faster I-15, but I wasn't in much of a hurry. Taking this route runs you straight through downtown Ogden, Utah. Not only can you find the standard stops for snacks and fuel, but those of you looking for sights to see will notice the Ogden LDS Temple, which underwent a significant renovation in 2014 and is really a sight. Pay attention to the road signs to stay on Highway 89. If there's any uncertainty as to where you're going, look for signs pointing to Brigham City. Along this beautiful stretch of road where the farmland stretches for miles and views overlooking the west abound, fruit stands dot the highway where the locals peddle their produce. As you continue the journey, you'll eventually see that due north, the letter B greets you on the mountainside. This signals your approach into Brigham City. From here, make a right turn on East 1100 South to stay on Highway 89 and follow signs to Logan. Sardine Canyon offers a breathtaking drive. The curves and views are fun, but offer only a taste of what is to come along the rest of the drive. Oh, and be sure to watch your speed. The town of Manaway is a notorious speed trap. A news report from 2015 cites that the city made about $200,000 off of speeding tickets in 2014. It's unclear if things have changed much at the time of this video, but old habits die hard. Better safe than sorry. The next big stop is in Logan, Utah, home of the Utah State Aggies. The road out of Sardine Canyon is a gorgeous scene. Even in late May, early June, some snow still rests on the mountains, so be sure to prepare to stay warm. As I stopped to get shots of this stretch of highway, I couldn't help but notice the obvious, an ominous storm forming behind me. I trudged on anyway, thinking that I could outrun the weather if I just kept the wheels turning north. Logan's main street has a pretty cool old-fashioned feel. While there, you can check out historic sites like the Tabernacle or the Temple. You could also check out Saddleback Harley Davidson if you're a collector of that kind of swag. If your stomach just can't wait any longer, have a stop at one of Logan's many eateries like the Bluebird Diner or Center Street Grill. There really is no wrong choice. Unfortunately, reality began to set in as I gathered shots of downtown Logan. The storm continued to gain steam behind me. All things considered, no matter what I decided to do, I would need to fuel up. I had neglected to do so before heading out, and I had gone about 90 miles since disembarking. I just couldn't shake the bad feeling I had gotten from those clouds. Not only that, but the wind was picking up too, and I neglected to pack rain gear that day. After a quick look at the weather forecast, I had a decision to make. And I'm not proud to say that I chickened out. Pretty cowardly, I know. Real bikers ride in the rain, after all.
There's a big difference between getting caught in the rain or choosing to ride into a severe thunderstorm. I didn't have any rain gear, I'd seen the clouds forming for some time, and the weather report said 90% chance of severe weather. Considering all those options, I just couldn't pretend I didn't know any better.
And I'm glad I did. The rain was sometimes intense, but even on the way back, I ran into 50+ mile-per-hour winds. Not fun. Really, really not fun. Take 2. Learning my lessons from the first ride, I packed my rain gear and set off again to finish what I'd started the first time. I made quick work back up to Logan, where I eagerly took in the view of Cache Valley before venturing up Logan Canyon. It was the steep walls of the Cache National Forest that first caught my attention. To venture north into the canyon is to seek the source of the Logan River. The twists and curves are plentiful and certainly a gigantic draw of this trip. The other side of the canyon brings you immediately to an overlook of Bear Lake. Get your camera out because this view is likely going to occupy your social media. Here you get a complete view of Bear Lake, which is quite stunning. When you've gotten your wind back and your pictures taken, stay the course because now you've made it to the main event, Garden City. It's a fun summer town, and trust me when I say that every restaurant brags about its raspberry shakes. And though I haven't tried every one, I'd be willing to bet that they're all pretty impressive. As for me, I went to Merlin's, where you can get this over-the-rim bad boy right here. Way worth it. I certainly didn't hate it.
This point in the trip has been pitched as the highlight, and if you're a foodie, then maybe it is. But I want to be clear about something. Just because I'm stopping at certain places doesn't mean that you have to as well. Riding's all about exploration. If you see something else that piques your interest, get out there and explore it.
Even though it was less than 40 miles from Logan, where I previously fueled up, I recommend filling up the tank before leaving Garden City. Opportunities to fill up become more scarce on the next leg, and trust me when I say, it's so fun and beautiful, you won't want to get off for a while. By now you'll notice that 89 comes to a crossroad in Garden City. From here we'll head south on UT 30 until we reach UT 16, where we make a right again toward Woodruff. Follow signs to Lake Town, and the first thing you're drawn to notice is that you run the length of Bear Lake and Rendezvous Beach, a popular summer hangout. Stop and get pictures if you like, because you're probably going to want to show them off to your friends later. From this point, it feels like when your eyes are east, you might be overlooking the entire state of Wyoming. Just don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for signs of UT 16. You'll also see signs pointing toward Randolph, which is a small town you'll pass on the way to Woodruff. Once you've lowered your speed in the town of Woodruff, you'll make a right turn at the country store, Center Street. Follow signs to Ogden. UT 39 runs back through the Wasatch Range. It's a long one and takes you through high elevations, so I hope you packed your warm gear. Even in the early summer, there's still patches of snow lingering. Watch the warning and speed limit signs. Even if you're an experienced and cautious biker, it only takes some careless driver to ruin everything. Evergreen views, crisp air, and lazy curves keep you engaged in what might be my favorite part of the ride. Just take it all in. By this point in the day, my GoPro was beginning to run out of battery, so I needed to keep it moving. The sun was setting lower in the sky, and due in no small part to the canyons casting a shadow, I needed to get one last stop out of the way. It's a bit of a detour, but I was thirsty. The Shooting Star Saloon in Huntsville was my final stop on the Raspberry Run. Known for being the oldest business in the state of Utah, you'll find all loads of character in this little watering hole. If you've got a buck to spare, give it your autograph and tag it to the wall while you help yourself to a bacon cheeseburger and tall beer. This place is absolutely worth your time, so I recommend giving it a check. The light was getting scarce, and it was time to wrap up the trip. Stay on UT 39 and follow signs to Ogden. As you wrap up the last few miles of the loop, take a look at the beauty of Pineview Reservoir before making the last curves in Ogden Canyon.
And that was the Raspberry Run, also known as the Bear Lake Loop. On my trip, I racked up 281 miles, tons of bug juice, 1 expired tag, and 1 iron butt. Now, even though it took me 2 tries, I wrote this like you can do it in 1 day, which you can if you want, but it's long enough you could make it an overnighter. So let me know of anything that I missed that you'd like me to see, or any rides you'd like to see me do in the future. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments below, and by all means, get out there and explore sometime. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you see you again sometime.